Hi, I'm Sarah Hughes, Senior Solutions Engineer at Skuid. Within the approval history in your standard Salesforce apps, the Submit for Approval message displays even after the approval process is complete. This creates obvious confusion and slows productivity for your users. Frustrations like these can erode trust in your system over time. The best practice is for users to know when and why their actions have an effect. In this video, we'll show you how to customize the UI and improve the notification experience using Skuid button sets and reusable action sequences.
Very cool.
I want to dig in a little and just kind of show, we have some other, there's just some little treats, some little tasty treats throughout this one. I couldn't help myself show, a bunch of special stuff for Skuid. So you might have seen, we have this thing like, I want to edit this, but it didn't really pull everything up. So the way that we're doing that is with a button group, a button set here in this part of the page. Edit view, it allows me to toggle from one state to another rather than going field by field. Sometimes you're like, I know I got a lot to edit. I want to edit every little thing. You can control what can be editable. So there's a form in its read-only state, and there's a form in an editable state. You see that the default mode there is different. And then there's more. Chuck, let me get into this. So for this purposes, I'm saying I only want this particular user to only ever edit the mobile phone. I've got this, person just checking phone numbers. I really don't want them to edit anything else on the contact. So I've set these to read only, which is so powerful, right? So I only want to edit this one thing. Going to edit mobile phone, but I can toggle those forms on and off based on what I'm trying to do. And then I'm also showing the save and cancel. You might notice save doesn't show up until I'm in edit mode. Why would it, right? It would be really confusing. I know I've gone to sites before and there's a save button and I'm clicking and I'm clicking and I'm clicking, or I'm like, should I be changing this? What's going on? So back again to that thought, like, we want to let users know exactly when and why their actions are having an effect.
Well, and I want to call something else out here too. So you're using a button set, which is one of Skuid's components in our component library that just comes with the Skuid product. And Skuid buttons are different than Salesforce buttons. So Salesforce lets you put buttons, links, and actions on each object. And they're thinking about it from a data point of view. So you create actions that are related to that particular piece of data, which we need that. That's a critical part of the foundation that Skuid is on. But what we are thinking about with buttons is buttons in the UI. What are the things that I want to do as a user on this page, in this app, in this context? And the things that button might do aren't necessarily data related. It might call a UI element, like a modal or a sliding panel, or it might do a couple things and I want it to block the UI and let the user know what's happening. So we're thinking about this much more from a front-end application level, as opposed to tying actions, to a specific object's data. So what's that button doing there?
Yeah, so great segue into that, and thanks for that, Matt. So this button is showing a modal, and that modal is that modal that we saw that popped up and said, hey, you're about to do this thing that's going to do this thing, right? Do you want to do the thing? Yeah, I do. Okay. So same concept, right? These are just standard components in our Skuid library. So again, I have another button set. Well, okay, this is what I love about modals too, is we've got a built-in area to put our buttons, so everything kind of has some consistency across your site. So yep. Say this is a Skuid button, it has another set of actions on it, right? One of those actions is to save both the contact and the account changes if you've made them. And because I might want to do that many times on this page, I might want to put save in a lot of different places. I turned it into a reusable action sequence.
Awesome.
So, I love it. When I started using Skuid, we couldn't do this, and this is such a time saver. It's such an efficiency, tool. Love it. So, so I've got an action. It's the same concept as what we're doing on the button. We're just saving it for reuse. It's almost like a snippet, right? So the action is, I want to save, this is really simple stuff, right? I want to save my model changes. So I want to save what I changed in that lead contact, which is the contact object, and the account, which is the account object associated with this lead contact. I have a UI only model. I'm not going to get into that now, but I have some fun stuff there that's saying turn the editable on and off. That's how I'm doing the toggling. And then, so that's just if I was going to save it. It does not close. So if you go back over here, I put the close here as the save I might want to reuse in something that's not a modal, right?
It's modular.
So,
you've got that action sequence. You can use it in context throughout the page.
Right. Yeah. Once you wrap your head around the action sequences, you go back and rebuild a few of them because you're like, oh, okay. Okay, I got my puzzle pieces. I'm going to put them to bed. This is how I want to put them together. It's just getting your ingredients ready if you cook, for your recipe, and then throwing them all in at the right time.